Good afternoon.
Nicolas?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, very well. The floor is yours.
Do you have my presentation or I share my screen? Okay, I will share my screen. So just confirm that you can see my presentation. Will be
Yes, we see it.
okay, perfect. So good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer for having invited UNIFE at this ICT for Highways event and in this panel on digitalization. So my name is Nicolas Furio. I'm the head of Technical Affairs Unit in UNIFE. So I'm responsible for all the technical affairs activities dealing with research innovation, but also standardization and regulation. I will not present UNIFE because it was done this morning by my Director General, but today what I would like to present to all of you is the UNIFE vision on cybersecurity in highways. Because it was mentioned several times today, rail is a system of systems. We are using more and more digital solutions, meaning also there are more and more cyber threats, and we should provide some solutions that will be cyber resilient. So on the next slide, if it works. So yes. So regarding the context on cybersecurity, so cybersecurity at European level is a topic discussed in various DGs of the Commission. So DG Connect is the DG who is leading the discussion, but of course for transport, DG Move is involved, DG Research for research, and DG Grow for the industrial aspects. Also, there are some European agencies. One of them is the European Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA, who is really responsible to implement the strategy of the Commission on cybersecurity, and for rail, the European Union Agency for Highways, who of course is involved in the discussion. There are also other relevant organizations like Sentinelec at European level, so standardization bodies, but also ISO and IEC at international level. So cybersecurity is a topic which is intensively discussed in Brussels. It's of course to create this cyber resilience at European level, but also at worldwide level. So that's why in December 2020, the Commission published its new strategy for cybersecurity, and in these documents are three key priorities. So the first priority is addressing resilience, technological sovereignty, and leadership, so meaning that the Commission would like to reform the rules on the security of network and information systems. The second key priority is to build operational capacity to prevent, deter, and respond to cybersecurity threats, so meaning that what the Commission intends to do is to try to implement a progressive and inclusive process to face, let's say, to define a strategy for cybersecurity, and this by involving all the member states in the discussion to try to have a joint approach regarding the cybersecurity issue. And the last priority is to advance at global level and also to have open cyberspace, so meaning to try to discuss with international partners, so on all other continents, to try to exchange on this cybersecurity approach and issue. So this is the strategy from the Commission. But now, what are the tools to implement this strategy? So one of the tools is the famous directive on the security of network information systems, and this is the second version of the directive that aims at trying to harmonize the cybersecurity requirements for critical infrastructure in Europe, in the member states, so addressing complex architecture, also addressing the security of the supply chain. So it's not only for rail, it's for all the sectors, but rail is one of the sectors which is concerned by this directive. And also for this, so to try to implement and to improve the cybersecurity resilience in Europe, there was a Cybersecurity Act that was published in 2019, giving, let's say, a permanent mandate to ENISA, so to this European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, and also to ask ENISA to start defining a cybersecurity certification framework for ICT. In terms of other initiatives that are relevant for the rail sector regarding cybersecurity, so a platform has been established 2 years ago. This is the ISAC platform, so it means European Rail Information Sharing Analysis Center. So this platform is bringing together operators, system managers, but also suppliers, sharing information on the various cyber threats and trying to learn from each other and trying to define also a way to improve the cyber resilience of rail assets. And on the standardization side, CENELEC is fully involved, and especially the CENELEC Working Group number 26, who has published a technical specification, so the first technical specification for cybersecurity in railways, covering all the subsystems for the rail sector. And this document is key for UNIFE, and I will come back on this later. So in terms of landscape, what we can, let's say, notice today is that cybersecurity requirements are addressing different sectors. You have a legal framework, but the legal framework will not solve all the issues. And also, as you have this trend of digitalization of the rail transport, meaning that we are facing more and more cyber threats, so we need to define a process in the rail sector. We need to define common approach to face those cybersecurity threats. It's also important for the suppliers to have an harmonization in cybersecurity requirements. I mean, we would like to avoid a situation where we are facing different requirements from different customers. So that's why it's very important to discuss all together to define the right approach to deal with those cybersecurity threats. And we believe that we are at the beginning of the journey, and we need to work all together to define the joint strategy and like the tools that will allow the sector to tackle this cybersecurity issue in a proper way. So that's why what we did as UNIFE with our members, in September 2021, we have published our cybersecurity position paper for the railways. So this document is available on the website of UNIFE. And in this document, we have identified various challenges, so short-term challenges, mid-term challenges, and long-term challenges. What we believe are, let's say, the key areas in which we need to investigate or we need to promote to, as I said before, to make sure that the rail transport will be cyber resilient in the future. So I would like today to present some of the challenges identified in this document. So the first one is regarding standardization. As I said before, a major milestone has been reached mid of this year. This is the publication of the technical specification 5701, which is the first technical specification for cybersecurity for rail. And in this technical specification, there is, let's say, a wish to try to have a unified approach for cybersecurity for the rail sector. And that's why now that this technical specification exists, it's very important to make aware the sector about it and to raise awareness about this to make sure that all the actors in the rail sector, being companies, being SMEs, are aware about those challenges and can work, let's say, consider in their development of products or in their development of processes the cybersecurity. And also, we believe that this technical specification will be used as a basis for the development of the EU cybersecurity certification framework for rail. And as I said before, this will be a task of ENISA to develop this ICT certification scheme. And we really believe that as a first document, as a first basis, this technical specification should be used. Also, we are not only thinking at European level. As I said before, we need to connect with international level. So that's why there are some ongoing discussion on how to promote this European specification at international level and how to also push for a migration of it at international level. So discussion have started, and we believe that we should, let's say, continue and support this approach to make sure that the European, let's say, interest or strategy is next promoted at international level. The second challenge is regarding the legislative framework. As I said before, the new NIS2 directive now will have to be transposed in the EU member states. You all know that transposing a directive would trigger some additional questions or some potential additional issues. So we should make sure that the transposition of this directive in the member states will be done in a harmonized way, at least for the rail sector. Again, to avoid to have different national rules that will pop up in the future, because you all know that one objective of the rail sector is really to clean up the national rules and to get some European rules harmonized, European harmonized rules. In terms of cooperation, so I mentioned before the ERISAC as a platform for cooperation in cybersecurity. We believe that this platform will be very useful to collect information on cyber threats and to try also next to define some mechanism to find some solutions for those cyber threats. So we need to improve the exchange of information with our customers, so system managers, operators, so involving suppliers, And that's why, as UNIFE, we are supporting this approach, and we also are involved in the discussion with the ERISAC. Today, you had many presentations on research innovation projects, presentations that were very, very interesting. And several times it has been mentioned that if you speak about digital solution, like ATO, for example, you will have to consider the cybersecurity in your requirements or in the solutions to be developed. This is also the case with FRMCS. So cybersecurity is really a parameter that has to be tackled more and more. And that's why, as UNIFE, we are calling the Commission to support cybersecurity research innovation project. So in the past, it was done in the Shift to Rail. There was a specific technology demonstrator in Shift to Rail. But now with the new Europe Strategy undertaking, we believe that cybersecurity should be still assessed as a transversal topic, and there should be one part of the new GU, one part of the programs that will address the cybersecurity, being for various subsystems or processes. But as I said, cybersecurity is also a topic that is evolving quite fast, so meaning that there are some major technological advancements done in other sectors, like supercomputing, like quantum computing, blockchain, artificial intelligence. So meaning that there will be, let's say, those new technologies that will be implemented later on the market or will be used by the rail transport sector. So it's also important to monitor this, to be aware of what might come in the rail sector in the future. We can use those technologies to maybe also reinforce our cybersecurity resilience. And that's why we believe that this task should be addressed at European level, so with the rail sector, to make sure that we can anticipate or we can use technologies from other sectors to increase our cybersecurity resilience. The last short-term challenge is is linked to the rail sector or to the rail transport. It's what we are calling a particularities in cybersecurity within the rail sector. So meaning that we are some assets in the rail sector with a long life cycle. So meaning that those assets are becoming quickly obsolete from a cybersecurity perspective. So we need to find a way to also consider this aspect, to try to include the new processes that will allow to consider the cybersecurity threats that will, let's say, evolve on a day-to-day basis, to make sure that the rail assets will still be safe from a cybersecurity perspective. So that's why this is a discussion we'd like to have with the rail sector, how to find the right process or the right mechanisms to make sure that the rail assets will continue to be cyber resilient in the future. In terms of mid and long-term priorities in cybersecurity, so the next steps we believe that will be that the rail supply industry will have to build its IT infrastructure, so to reach the status of quantum secure and crypto agility. We also expect that rail sector will have to discuss with other transport mode because we have to also think about the multimodal aspects. Cybersecurity is not only linked to rail, it's linked to all mode of transport and to many sectors. So we need to also have this discussion how to address cybersecurity at multimodal level. We also expect that there should be the inclusion of strong cybersecurity criteria in the new technology to be implemented in the future. And this will have to be secure by, let's say, considering the product life cycle and meaning secure by design. So there will be need to have some cybersecurity requirements for the design of the new technologies. And also we expect that the first step will have to be cybersecurity at project level, but next will be addressed at the processes level. So meaning at one upper level, so to have authorization not only for the project, but for the processes. Last but not least, it will be very important to create discussion with other sectors. That's why we also believe that as a mid and long-term challenge, we'll have a need to increase the cross-sectorial cooperation. First, also to learn from other sectors, but also to try to implement in a quicker way new solutions or new technologies that could, again, help the rail sector to face those cyber threats. So in the UNIFE position paper that I invite you to read, where we identify some recommendations. So just want to highlight that for us today, the key recommendations, I mean the ones that we consider that should be targeted as a priority is the number 6. So meaning that we need to support cybersecurity awareness in the rail sector. So we need to promote as much as possible this new technical specification It has been delivered by the working group number 26 of Senelec. But also we need to work jointly with ERA and ENISA, because ENISA will have the responsibility to define this certification scheme, cybersecurity certification scheme for ICT, and of course this will also to be linked with the work of the European Rail Agency, and especially the update of the TSIs. So this is the message I wanted to present today to all of you. It's a pity that I could not come to Toulouse, but of course, as a conclusion, I would like to say that I would like to encourage you to have a look at our position paper. And as UNIFE, we are really ready to discuss with any stakeholders on cybersecurity topic, because our wish is to make sure that what we will deliver, what we are delivering or will be delivered in the future will be aligned with the cybersecurity needs of the rail sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicolas. Thank you for this clear presentation of the challenge related to cybersecurity. To complement what you said, yes, at IEC level, the work has started related to the development of a new international standard on cybersecurity.